Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode Pick in Review with our potential picks. I'm Taylor Sokol, and joined by my co-host, Chris Dewar here. I salute you, sir. We're back again with another episode review of Falcon and the Winter Solder. This episode is The Power Broker, episode 3. So right now we are getting into the nitty-gritty of the show, and as Chris and I had said, what else they're going to cover? We've only got 3 more episodes left, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this wraps up. So Chris, right off the bat, what were your thoughts about this episode?
Well, I was super excited for this episode because we knew that Daniel Bruhl was cast again once as Baron Zemo for the show, of course, making his debut in Captain America Civil War. And first 2 episodes, didn't get him till the very tail end. They teased him last week with, okay, we're going to go talk to Zemo because obviously he knows about the old Hydra locations, and he obviously has a keen
He's like the only one they know that knows.
Yeah, I mean, really, as Hydra now is completely gone, there's only really stragglers left, so it's like, let's go talk to this guy. So they did a great kind of almost fake out to start this episode where it was this whole idea of Bucky was like, all right, this is the plan. We're going to break Zemo out of prison. And he's talking to Sam through the plan, and you're actually seeing as he's talking. And so, of course, in normal movie or even, any kind of TV format, we're usually used to, okay, that is the dream version. And then, of course, the real version goes wrong. That's usually what we're used to. No, while they were talking, that was the breakouts. This was a brilliant start to the episode.
Situation was not that much hype.
It was just such a smart, no, let's just get the chase. Zemo's out. So the Zemo shows up, around the corner, and Sam's like, whoa, what, and it's like hilarious. Like, well, we had to get him out of prison because he's not going to make use to us in prison.
No, so it was smart. No, sorry. Yeah, it was very smart because they weren't having to do a whole episode of the breakout.
Mm-hmm. Which could have been a whole episode by itself. But as we've been saying, this is a 6-episode series, and we're already now halfway. We got to cut to the chase. So I think that was a smart move, and it's so great to have Daniel Bruhl back in the show. A lot of our villains in the MCU are typically more of the brawn or, because they have powers. His mindset is his power. He's so good at remembering things, at being manipulative, at being, he's a man with a lot of brain. But we got to see some action with him too, which we'll get to a little later. But what did you think of them going to this Madripoor? It was it looked like we were like in a whole different universe in a way. I mean, it looked like a whole
very, very futuristic thing, but which is really exciting about this. And for those fans, little diehard fans will know this. The untrained eye, or maybe the lay person like us, who are maybe just more casual MCU fans, this city actually has roots in the X-Men universe. So this is kind of like, as we see, I think Marvel and Disney are slowly slipping in the hints of what we're going to have for the future of the X-Men universe. Of course, we had that little bit of a teaser and kind of wink and nudge here in WandaVision, and now we're getting a little bit more, not so much heavy-handed, but like, okay, there's definitely some connection here. But I thought it was a really cool city. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, and almost, I do like those kind of scenes, very similar, reminiscent a little bit of, I would say, Black Panther when they go to that kind of casino. And I really like, again, this episode, a lot of playfulness, a lot of great banter, and the humor is just great. And I think it was awesome to see kind of Bucky go back to his roots of the Winter Soldier. Again, I look forward to, I would love if they had more episodes to show a lot of his back history and the stuff he went through. But this was kind of cool as he kind of embraces that. And Zemo's just loving it, hamming it up. Of course, he said that signature, purple mask. And, Sam's...
Well, it was nice to see that he wasn't actually saying the words to actually turn him on, but he had to be like, you have to play along, because if they see you as a threat that we know you to be, and they get that this is the connection, they'll let us see, the leader we need to go see to actually get the goods.
Yeah, and so they'll know that I'm a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, so. And so that was kind of cool that it was like him getting to show some action. Earlier in the season, it was really more Sam getting that whole huge action sequence, and So now Bucky's getting to show a little bit more of his skill, which is always fun. And we love, you can't deny watching Sebastian Stan with that metal arm. It's just like, it's a blast.
Yeah.
So that was really cool, but definitely, they're on the hunt for who remade this serum. And they kind of get in this situation with this kind of like mob boss lady. And this actually was really funny scene because you're thinking who's gonna maybe slip up in the situation, and of course, they're playing these parts to kind of get infiltrate this
Yeah.
this whole underground area, and Sam has to be this kind of like African looking, like kind of like hotshot casino guy, and
Yeah.
of course, at one
Smiling
point
Tiger.
has
What a
to have a
great
shot
name.
of this. I guess what they cut out a thing of the snake, and he had to have a shot of that, and he's sitting there going, that's his usual, and you can
Yeah.
tell he's just so angry. But his sister calls him, and what did Sam do that you should always, when you're on the job, do not disturb? You ever heard of that? Silence
Yeah.
your phone. They say that at the beginning of the movies for a
Yeah.
reason.
It's amateur hour
Um,
here.
so Sam gets discovered, and it's like, and then of course a huge escape scene happens, which was a lot of fun. And the action in this, it really is that kind of cool. We've been saying for a while now, this is really that buddy cop, but it really does have that spy thriller, intense
Well,
stake.
and like kind of what Civil War was doing. I like
Hmm.
going back to the roots of what made that movie so successful. And of course, then we get introduced to a familiar face. Speaking of Civil War, we get Sharon Carter, played by
She's
Emily
back.
Van Camp. Which again, she didn't have. She was a small but mighty presence in Civil War. Of course, the
Hmm.
niece of Peggy
Peggy
Carter,
Carter.
Sharon Carter. So it was kind of cool to see her back, and it was kind of interesting to have what happened to her because everyone else went on the run. She didn't get off so scot free as the rest of the Avengers.
Yeah, which was kind of neat. So again, we're seeing more of what happened for those that were affected by the blip and those who didn't. She kind of claims you got the luxury package of how you were treated and how you're still. She was like, I didn't get that. So she's like, I don't have the ability to come back to the States because my name is still currently, like a blacklist essentially.
Yeah,
So they kind of, she's helped save them from one situation. And she's like, you know what? Sam's like, you help us out with this. We need to find this power broker, whoever this person is that holds the key to who has the serum kind of situation. You help us, I'll get your name,
we'll
you'll be
get you
scot
cleared.
free.
Yeah.
You'll be cleared to go back to the States. So of course she's a little hesitant at first,
Hmm.
but then she agrees. And this kind of led to this really fun sequence out on this, shipyard with a bunch of like the shipping containers, always a perfect place to hide things. I mean, you look at those Spider-Man games we've been playing, there's always stuff in those shipping containers.
Yeah, shipping yard is a criminal haven. So if you have a shipping yard in a movie, probably going to be criminals there.
Yeah. So this is a cool little espionage scene where they got, they're trying to like go find the one that looks like nothing's in it, but clearly there's stuff hidden in it. And this is where Sharon got to really have her John Wick moment, if you will. Bunch of bad guys showed up and she took them all out, or
Yeah.
most of them out, by herself. And then this is where we got Zemo to really kick some butt. He
Yeah.
went and grabbed that mask of his, and he kind of was like, "All right, this ain't working. I'm gonna do my own thing." And he went and killed a
Got his
bunch.
hands dirty, if you will. He was like,
Yeah,
all
he
right,
went a little. It almost seemed a little rogue, and the whole thing is with Zemo. Even though you clearly know that he knows his team up will be good for him because he personally has the vendetta against the serum and like any super soldiers, but we know we're smart enough to know that we don't trust Zemo. He's
yeah,
gonna turn at some point. He's gonna do something against them, but we don't know yet. So at first I was like, oh, this is the moment where he's gonna start going off. But no, he put on that mask, he killed a bunch of guys, and then got this kind of nice hot rod car. Is like, all right, let's go now. And I
yeah,
was like, wow, okay.
exactly.
Um, yeah. So and then there was this cool, tease at the end. Um, and we talked last year. Still, it's just hard when we're watching the MCU to think that Chadwick Boseman passed last year,
Yeah,
and his legacy is Black Panther. And right now they are filming Black Panther 2, and Ryan Coogler definitely said that Chadwick would not want us to stop. So they're going to continue the stories of Wakanda, but we've not really had a lot of detail of what Bucky actually went through in Wakanda to recover him, to not
yeah.
be this evil soldier.
and have the
So
earn the nickname or moniker White Wolf. So it's been
White
kind of,
Wolf, which
yeah,
that was such a funny line in the previous episode. It's like,
yeah.
"What are you, White Panther?" He's like, "Actually, it was White Wolf." What?
What? No,
Uh,
never mind. Yeah.
but that
So
was a
yeah,
kind of a cool tease, right, Taylor? To get we got a little Wakanda action here at the end of the episode.
yeah. So that'll be really interesting to see how that's going to go there. Again, is it going to speak to how they're going to handle Chadwick Boseman's untimely passing? What's that going to do? And as Kevin Feige said, whatever happens in this, of course, you know, whether there's going to be a future of the series or not, he can't really talk about the end game of this show without spoiling stuff that's coming up further. So it's definitely interesting, kind of a game of hot potato as we're going
Mhm.
through all these shows and then movies are coming up. The nice thing is the rest of the summer is going to be lined up, the rest of the year, excuse me, it's going to be lined up with stuff. So it's really we're just kind of getting little bits and pieces of what's to come. But yeah, I'm excited about the action. How much more can they cover in the next couple episodes? We're going to find out. But I mean, I've enjoyed each episode very thoroughly. This was definitely a nice little bit of mix. We get a bit of that kind of undercover, get some nice action, and of course, a lot of big spoiler and drops for what's going to come. So I'm excited.
And everyone was going crazy for Zemo dancing for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Um, which of course was a lot of fun. But yeah, Daniel Brubeck, I mean, come on, you gotta love it. So curious to see what's gonna happen. We did have that Wakanda warrior show up, and again, Zemo was the reason that the King of Wakanda was killed in the first place. Black Panther's dead, T'Challa. So now it's like, are they out for vengeance? Are they going to try to be like, no, don't attack because we need him to get to this to reach your goal? And we got a little bit more, very brief scene, but we did get that small little flag smasher scene where we see like, oh, they have family that are sick, and so they're trying to maybe use a serum for maybe to heal. As with a lot of things with these kind of things show up in these kind of movies. It's can
Yeah.
it heal Alzheimer's or cancer because it has those reproductive cells and so who knows what's going to happen? But only 3 more episodes. So crazy. We're already halfway through this one.
Yeah.
WandaVision was 9 episodes, and this is 6, and we don't know how long Loki's going to be. But exciting things here with the MCU. So I'm excited to see next week. And yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier. It's
Absolutely.
a
So,
good time.
tell us what your thoughts are. Go down in the comments right down there and tell us. And if you enjoy what we have, like and subscribe. And also make some suggestions. You can message us on our social pages. As you saw, we listed this earlier. But let us know, are you enjoying this? What other shows would you like us to review or anything like that? And of course, you always can follow us on our podcast as we do more detailed reviews at Potential
Mhm.
Podcast. And of course, we have our full length episodes Tuesdays and Fridays. So, keep checking out. But I'm looking forward to seeing what's to come for the show.
Anything can happen. So
That's true.
until next week.